It's the Mortgage Hour, courtesy of First Republic Mortgage Bankers. Call them right now. Loan officers are standing by at 718-380-0006. Call First Republic Mortgage Bankers right now for all your purchasing and refinancing needs.
Scott Siskin, I need to see more people buying in this market. And I want you to help me to convince the individuals who have not purchased homes as yet to buy in this market, and tell them why it's important for them to buy in this market. Before we go to the top of the hour, get some news, and then later on come back with a true, powerful success story that I've seen right here in the studios in my hands here looking at the paperwork. But we'll save that, all right? So right now, how can we convince those people who have not made the move to purchase, and why should they make the move to purchase if they should?
The chances are that 50% of tenants can qualify with our special programs for first-time homebuyers, inclusive of no money down and allowing the seller to pay the closing costs, inclusive of government-backed programs where, you know, all sorts of flexibility is there in terms of getting together 3% down, and even with the Nehemiah Grant program, it can be really done with nothing down. But, you know, the bottom line is that listening to us right now, within the sound of our voices, hundreds of thousands of people who are paying rent needlessly, because we could help them if they would call and get the facts. 718-325-5555. Aaron has been with the company for 10 years.
Right.
He knows what he's talking about, and he's helped many, many people who were didn't think they could ever buy a house to buy a house. He's a very patient guy, and he'll do credit counseling with you. 718-325-5555. On the other hand, you have people already taking that big step to becoming a homeowner. But, you know, during the course of becoming a homeowner and having additional expenses, a lot of times people rattle up all this credit card debt. So, people, what I'm saying to you is whether you're a homeowner and you're paying 7% or more on your mortgage, or you have credit card debt, or you're a tenant and you're sick of paying rent, get the facts.
Well, let me ask you something.
Forget the hype. Don't worry. There's too much hype. I'm trying to be very laid back, more laid back than usual, but there's so much damn hype about this mortgage market. People have never heard the word mortgage so many times as it is now with the subprime crisis.
Right.
You know, you know, Nixon had said, whether you feel, I don't know how you feel Nixon, but he said the Chinese symbol for crisis and opportunity is the same symbol. Mm-hmm. So when there is a crisis, and there are people necessarily who need to sell their houses, there's a lot of houses on the market, and there's still, when you're dealing with a direct lending institution like First Republic, lots of flexible programs. Now's your time of opportunity to go out there and find something.
Let me ask you something, man. By the way, folks, the number to speak with the loan officer, 718-325-5555. They're in the Link Up Media building. You can also call 1-800-QUICK-LOAN, and that is First Republic Mortgage Bankers also. Let me ask you something. Do you still have no money down programs at First Republic Mortgage Bankers?
Absolutely. We have no money down programs that allow people to get the seller to pay the closing costs. You know, all they're going to be responsible for is incidentals. We also have the government-backed program, which allows people to get the Nehemiah Grant. It's still available.
Well, hold on. With the no money down program, okay? Let's say I decide to buy a house. Absolutely no money down, all right? Do I still have to pay for the closing cost, or can I get that? Well, you did say the seller can pay the closing cost. If the seller chooses not to pay the closing cost, then I have to pay for the closing cost.
Well, sometimes you see where people have to pay the closing costs, or they pay half of the closing costs. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're buying, I don't want people to think that they don't need to have any money. They might need to have, if they're buying a $500,000 property, mm-hmm. they might need to have somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $10,000, even if the seller pays everything, because you have incidental costs that go on when you're at a closing.
Like?
Well, prepaying your insurance.
Oh, okay.
Other things like that.
I got you.
So, your attorney's fee. There's
taxes.
Other things that are not right. Prepaid taxes and so forth.
I got you.
So, what's important is that people get the facts. You know, if you have doubts, if you have concerns, get the facts. And if we can't help you today, we'll do credit counseling with you and help you get to the point that you can be. But don't buy the hype that's out there. You know, they talk about sometimes, you know, mathematics is very easy to twist things around.
Oh, it is.
So you hear people saying, well, you know, of the subprime mortgages mm-hmm. market, 13% are in default.
I heard that line being used before. Yes, I have.
Okay. And so 13% of, but meanwhile, the subprime market only makes up about 14% of the entire market.
Right.
So they don't talk about the 87% of the people in that portion.
Right.
And when you take 13% of 14%, it becomes a very small portion of the entire market.
Minute.
Right. And it's not spilling over. It's not affecting the government-backed programs. We still have them, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, Sony Mae. We've got all the government-backed programs that are not changing.
Backbone of First Republic Mortgage Bankers is the government-backed programs, and that's the reason why First Republic Mortgage Bankers will always stand tall. Now, when we say government-backed programs, folks, once again, we're saying that we're going to make sure you get the best possible programs before they even think of subprime. And when you hear the word subprime, you should think it is inferior. All right? Go for the best first. And if that doesn't work and you still want to move ahead, then ask First Republic Mortgage Bankers about it. The number, once again, before we go to the news in Jamaica, is 718-325-5555. That is 718-325-5555. You know what? And I'm very happy that this is fast becoming one of the most powerful talk show on mortgages in the United States of America. Just like the immigration link, it's getting there. But we're going to check in with Jamaica right now. Let's see if they're ready.
Flying Jamaica's construction industry.
I think they're just about ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott.
Well, I just want to say one thing. When it comes to the government-backed programs, no mortgage broker can securitize a loan to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac directly. They can't do government-backed FHA loans. And they can't do Sony Mae loans. They can huff and they can puff, but they cannot do those loans. First Republic Mortgage Bankers is a licensed mortgage banker, direct lender in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Florida, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Maine. Headquartered at 110 Jericho Turnpike, Floral Park, New York. Don't forget to tune in to the early ride home every Monday from 5 to 8 o'clock. And also every single day to the Winner's Circle from 11 to 12 on Link Up Radio.